and welcome to the Naughty Wives Club. I'm your host, Kim Scott, and I am so excited for you to be here today. This episode is going to be one that you do not forget. We are talking about secrets, lies, and infidelity, and what does that look like in a marriage? So I'm telling you, buckle up and get ready because you are for sure going to want to see this. So let's welcome our first guest, Ivona. Our first guest we have with us is Ivona. Ivona, welcome to the Naughty Wives Club. I am so excited to have you here.
Thank you for having me.
One of the reasons why I'm so excited is because Ivona is actually a member of our exclusive Naughty Wives Club online. And so the crazy part is, like, I only know her from online. So to be able to physically touch her today is amazing. So Ivona, again, welcome, and I'm so glad that you're here. So let's jump right into it. When I put the call out for applications to be on the show, you were one of the applicants that I read your story, and I was completely just in awe about how deep, how raw, and how real your story was. So can you tell me and the audience exactly what that is?
Right before me and my husband got married, it was a couple of weeks before, he was acting really strange, and I'm like, what's wrong with you, dude? And he would just blow me off. And so finally he came up to me and he was like, I'm addicted to crystal meth.
Wow.
And I'm like, oh my goodness. And not only that, he told me about the infidelities he was having too. Mm-hmm. So it was like a hard pill I had to swallow right before.
All at once.
Yes.
Right. And that was something that just caught me, to be honest with you, when I was reading your application, it caught me off guard because I was like, how do you deal with that? Like, how do you deal with the fact that I'm getting ready to walk down the aisle and say I do to this person for the rest of my life, and to have all this come out? And what was really interesting was how long you guys were together before this happened.
Yes.
So tell us, like, how long were you guys actually in a relationship before you ever even found out this information?
12 years in a relationship.
So this wasn't something where it was like, okay, let's get married, we've been dating for a few months, and then, I find out this information. This was 12 years of a relationship that was built on what you thought was love and trust.
Yes.
And then to find this out right before, how did you process all that?
It was hard processing it. I mean, I talked to family members and friends, and just praying and talking to God, but it was a hard thing to process.
I can imagine. It's funny because you say that I talk to family and friends, and that's actually one of my next questions for you. So a lot of times in marriage, those of you that are married, you know this, and those of you that are not married, you know this just from life. When we go through things, we tend to want to talk to people that are close to us, so people that we love, people that we can confide in and tell them what's happening. And so I imagine you talking to friends and family about what was happening. But how did they respond when you told them that you were going to go back and be with him and decide to, I'm still going to walk down the aisle and say I do to this man? What was their response?
Family response is even harder than your friends. Mm-hmm. So my family, some of them was like, no, you're not getting married, try again. Mm-hmm. And then some of my friends that I had and my forever sisters were telling me, like, stick through it. God has a plan for your marriage. So it was a lot of back and forth pulling.
Right. So you had to basically hear one side of people saying don't, another side saying, this is just what happens, let's kind of get through it and press through it. And then you had your own personal thoughts and feelings. Because I know sometimes we deal with, like, rejection in ourselves when it's, infidelity, because we think, like, oh, was I not enough? So you had to process everybody else's opinions and then your own inner thoughts.
Yes.
And so did you ever think that you were going to be able to, like, fully forgive him?
No. Not at all. No, but God said if we don't forgive others, he won't forgive us.
Ooh.
So I had to forgive
Okay.
him. And it was a process. It's still a process.
Right. Every day.
Yes.
Every day. So how did you process that? What did that look like? Because people say, I forgive, but I'll never forget. I mean, I know y'all said that. I said that before. Like, I'm going to forgive you, but I'm never going to forget. So do you think that it's really something where you forgive and you forget, or is it something more where I'll forgive you and then we'll process through this and get through this?
I'll forgive you and we'll push through it together.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So how long have you guys been married since all of the stuff that happened and you guys working through it?
2 years.
2 years, yay! And then do you have any children?
We have 3 boys.
Oh, what are their ages?
One's 5, the other one's 2, and then I have a 5-month-old.
Oh, wow, a 5-month-old. That's so cool. So you actually had a child prior to you guys even saying I do. A child was, in the mix of this as well. So that even adds to the story.
Yes.
If there was one piece of advice that you can give the wives and even women who aren't married yet, who seek or desire to be married one day, one piece of advice when it comes to dealing with infidelity or lies, and maybe in even other areas, because again, you had multiple things that was going on at once. What is the one piece of advice that you would give someone who may be going through something similar in regards to infidelity and lies and mistrust?
Learn how to love yourself. Love yourself first
good.
before you can love on your husband that, did the things to you. So that's what I would say, love yourself.
So being able to love yourself is big, because then you'll know how to love someone else.
Yes.
And then also you'll be able to know what you really should be dealing with and what you may not have to deal with. So a lot of times, we may deal with things simply because we lack love for ourselves. And so we may think that we have to go through certain things just because this is the person that's kind of sticking with me, or this is the person that's, by my side. And so really loving yourself, it puts another, almost another bar to how you love other people and how they should love you. So that's really good. Ivona, I'm so glad to have you on this show. You are going to touch and save marriages and lives all over. And I know that wives are watching this saying, if she got through it, then I can get through it. And so thank you so much for being on here again. Thank you so much for joining us this week on the Naughty Wives Club. I learned so much from Ivona and her story. And if it's one thing that I can tell you, it's just make sure you love yourself first. That was one nugget that I took from her, because in loving yourself, you will understand how to love other people and how they should love you. So make sure you tune in next week. Our episode on the Naughty Wives Club is going to be the perfect blend, and you do not want to miss it. See you next week. Okay. I'm ready. I'm so ready. I was like,
I'm gonna leave it wrong.
right. I was like, okay.
Let me count you in.
Yes.
5, 4, 3, 2, action.
Thank you so much for joining us this week on the Naughty Wives Club. I learned so much from Ivona and her story. And if it's one thing that I can tell you, it's just make sure you love yourself first. That was one nugget that I took from her, because in loving yourself, you will understand how to love other people and how they should love you. So make sure you tune in next week. Our episode on the Naughty Wives Club is going to be the perfect blend, and you do not want to miss it. See you next week.